Hey, it's Sebastian from Palaye Royale, and you're hanging out with Rob on Front Row Live.
You guys are killing it this year, man. Like, this tour has just been insane. Just walking into this venue, it's like kids are wrapping around, the venue. Like, what has this tour been like?
I don't know. It's interesting. Like our first headline tour was we just did Europe, and so we did 1,800 people in London, like 1,500 people in Amsterdam. So it's like that was so surreal. And we went to Mexico City and everything sold out. It was like amazing. So when we did the States, it's a little bit smaller than those shows, but like the energy, like for us to sell out El Rey in Los Angeles and Gramercy in New York and like Metro in Chicago, like really iconic venues that I saw Lana Del Rey play like her first show at the El Rey. So it's cool to be at that situation in our career now. And it's like, we were traveling in our mom's car for 2 years, hustling, trying just to get people in a room, and now it's like this is our first headline, and 80% of all the shows sold out. So it's pretty cool. It's like a good feeling.
It must be cool not only having these shows sell out, but seeing your fans kind of dressing like you guys and having so much merch of you guys on. Like, that's incredible.
No, I think that's like the biggest thing is like I think we're generating with our fan base was like not forced. It's been like really cool to see like Remington with the makeup and everyone's been doing the same thing. It's like you end up kind of giving birth to this new generation of kids that feel like accepted in a weird subculture thing that we're doing that's just rock and roll essentially. So but I think that's what it's always been, and it's what it's always been lacking is like this sort of sense of community. And I think people are just like gravitating towards that because they feel like a sense of home within our band, which is pretty cool. So thankful it's going that way. So
now, talk to me a little bit about the new album, the sophomore record. This is side B. Now I know you guys like the first version of it. You guys kind of scrapped it. What was wrong with the first version?
It just wasn't organic. We do everything with no thought really. Like we kind of just do it from what we are feeling at the moment. And I think we went in the studio and there was too many people. Like there was one point there was I think like 25 people in the studio with us. So I'm like, what, like label,
like a hip hop gang, like.
Literally like friends, girlfriends, this, that, and you're just like, everyone get the fuck out. Like let's bring it back to what it's all about. And it's just me and my brothers and the new member in the band, Daniel. He's playing bass, and so it's this new atmosphere that we're doing, and it just should be us, the engineer, and we don't even need a producer anymore. It's like we lucked out and we got a really good guy. His name's Linus, like just up and coming guy, but he's just understands us. And the first round of it was like with someone that's won Grammys and all this stuff, and it was just like it just didn't feel right. There was no one really steering the ship when we should be the only one steering the ship. So it was like you're looking for guidance, and then you realize we kind of have a really good preconceived notion of what we want to do. So
do you think this tour would have been different if you guys had released that first version?
We would have never put it out. It's like at the end of the day, we make records so quickly, so it's not like we're spending a shit ton of money anyway. So it's fine. Like this when we did side B, like the actual final version, it took us 4 days. So it was just like we just went in, cool. That's the tone. That's that. And we're all in one room playing, and then you overdub some things here and there, but it's just like authentic to what our live show is, and we wanted to kind of capture that. It's a little polished for sure, but at the same time, we're just happy it's out there. It concluded an era for us, and that's why this tour is important to us, because it's just kind of putting a bookmark on what we were as a band, and now we kind of have a really true identity of what we want to do. And so for the next come around, we're going to be it's going to be a little bit different, but we're excited because now we have a fourth member for the first time in our whole career. So
was that interesting that first time when you guys hit the stage with the fourth member?
Well, so we've had a bass player. We've had 11 bass players, like 8 rhythm guitar players. We just got a keyboard player because we don't use tracks on stage. So I'll rather hire someone than put a computer on stage. Exactly. So I don't know. It's really exciting because now we're writing from not me just playing guitar or playing piano, writing songs and then forming them in the studio. It's more of like we can all sit in a room and all just fucking be connected into that situation. And I think that was what was like really like sound checks on this tour has been so important. Like I think we've knocked out 15 to 20 songs just on this tour. Just like we'll take the hour, we won't even sound check. Our sound guy will just be like mixing and doing his thing, but we take the hour to just write, and we go up there and we're like, what do you got? And it's a lot of fighting and it's fun, but it keeps us like I think it's really easy to get stagnant on the road. And I think that's like the scariest thing for any band, because if you're on the road, you can get lost in this abyss of just doing the same routine every day. You go wake up, you sound check, you meet people, you play the show. But yeah, so when you like have a creative outlet, still you're like still excited to do what you're doing, you know. All shows blend together. There's some that stick out, of course, but it's really hard to like keep yourself excited. You know, the shows are really fun, but everything else in the day really sucks, you know. You're around a lot of people, a lot of opening bands, like, and it's cool. We like essentially wanted to bring out 3 girl-fronted bands for a real reason. It was like there's so many good rock bands that have girl-fronted bands. Like there needs to be more, and especially as our audience is like 80% girls. For them to see that is like, yeah, you can get up on that stage. You don't need to be a pop star. You don't need to be doing that. You can be a badass rock chick, you know. So
that's it.
Yeah, so
that's it. Now, when listening to this record, call me crazy, I don't know, but I feel like either there was piano this time around or there was more piano this time around. I feel like the first record was more guitar driven. Yeah. This one, I feel like you guys let piano be heard a little more.
Well, that piano was always our number one thing. Like we all were trained on piano from 2, 4, and 6, and then this time around it was just really good to like get into the studio and just be like, we could go back to our roots, because we knew we were bringing out a piano player. When we were first doing our tours, it was like, you can't fit enough people in our mom's car at that time, you know? So we were like, oh, we don't have any room, you know? So like I was driving and doing all that. So now that we have like a bus and stuff, it's like comfortable to like have an extra person. And, I'm not the one driving and unloading the trailer. So we brought an upright piano shell for it, and it's like super heavy and stuff. It's fun, and then we have our signs on stage. So it's good. It's like we're finally growing into what we've always seen this band supposed to be. But when you're playing tours, when you're opening 1 of 5 and you're like playing to 20 kids because none of the other bands can pull, you're like, oh fuck, we're going down this road again. That's so
That's rough. How do you feel Remington's vocals changed on this record?
I think Remington's like comfortability. I think he's realizing like he's such a performer on stage, like climbing at anything he can, hanging backwards from everything, like he's a real entertainer, and I think that's lacking. So I feel when it came to like the vocal presentation of what he was doing, I think it's just more honest to who he is on stage. So he literally did like Death Dance. I think that was one take the whole song through, didn't even like touch it again. The producer's like, yeah, that's it. And he's like, cool, let's go. Next song, yeah. So he just like flew through them, and I think
that's why it only took 4 days.
Yeah, exactly, because we're not aiming for perfection, because it's exactly, there's gonna be loose things, like, and you'll be fine after like the riff, like that song has 4 different tempo changes, and because of that, we kind of just have grown into realizing there's no format. And the first record we did, we were just like straightforward, meat and potatoes, rock and roll, and now we're just like, all right, cool, we can start like growing into where we want to. We want to have more strings, we want to have more choir stuff, we want to get heavier, we want to get some dance songs. Like we're growing, and I think this next cycle after this record it's gonna be what we needed. So
I mean, you guys have gone a long way, like trying to discover and develop the sound that you guys have created. What made you want the sound that is coming after this cycle?
Live performances. We've done 500 shows since November 2015. So with that much touring history, we're so comfortable being on stage with one another. So we just want to. There's so much aggression in things, and it's like our shows become very punk shows without being like just slamming on guitar punk. It's like there's still methodic like things around it, and we're taking all different genres and aspects to put together what we want. So I think we're like, we want to tour Stone Sour, and like we would never.
That would be sick.
We just did that tour with.
Did you really?
Yeah, we opened up. Corey Taylor had personally asked for our band to open.
I did not even know that.
So we were direct support for Stone Sour, and Corey Taylor's wearing our band T-shirt on stage. I'm like, this is the king of the metal world, basically, with Slipknot. And that was like a thing, because I've never really been a fan of like metal music and stuff. Like I've always appreciated there's such talented players, but after listening to Corey Taylor every night, just the aggression, and like you're like, yeah, I want to fucking do that too, And so we're making our own twist on it. It's not like making songs that crazy, but we're growing around it, which is really nice. So
now, I'm curious to ask, like how different how do you feel the writing process has evolved from Feel in 2009
Yeah.
to your new album today?
Yeah. Honestly, we were just kids, and we're still kids. Emerson's 21, but he was 11 when we first started playing music. So you don't really know what you're doing in this world, you know? You have an idea of who you are when you're that age, but there's so much you can learn, and we're always learning every day. And so, you find out what you truly enjoy about music, and why would I do this other than doing it because I like to do the music I play every night. So I think that's the hardest thing. A lot of people kind of skew towards what genres are working, what genres aren't working, and you're just like, well, just do you. And that's what we've been doing ever since 2015 and touring with Side A. It was like, yeah, cool, rock and roll is not working, but now it's like funny. It's like bands like Greta Van Fleet and the Struts, and there's a lot of cool up-and-coming rock bands that are kind of taking the reins a little bit, and it's making it a little bit easier for this pathway. Our fans are it's so funny. It's like our fan base isn't a typical rock fan base. It's like we almost have 16 to 25 girls across America, and there's the 20% guys that are really smart because they realize if I go to a Palaye show, there's 800 girls. I'm like, that's how you do it. I would do that.
That's brilliant, though.
Right? You're going right to where girls, and you're like, yeah, I like this band.
So this tour, you're on the last day of the tour. The album is out. It's been out since September. So what are the plans for 2019? What can fans expect?
So we're headlining all in Europe. We're doing Europe. We're doing Asia. We're doing Australia on Tuesday. So we go to Australia on Tuesday, and then we're doing South America. Then we're gonna do Africa. We're doing Cape Cod and all that. So we're not touching the States. We're gonna do a few festivals. We just got Rock on the Range, which is with Foo Fighters and stuff, which would be really cool. But yeah, we're just spreading our wings to get out of. We've done America for 3 years.
Yeah.
So
it's time to spread.
Yeah. I've seen Pittsburgh probably 19 times in the past 3 years. And it's not that I don't dislike it at all. It's just I want new inspiration of the cities. We were in Prague. We're going to Prague, and it's just already sold out. And I'm like, I'm going to Russia. I'm going to Poland. I'm like, this is cool. Now I'm getting inspired by the cultures. I've seen America, and I love it. And I'm so thankful we built this fan base here. But I just, the world's so big, and I want to spread the love everywhere. So.
Keep it going, man. Congratulations with that. I love the new record. I've loved the previous record as well, and I can't wait to see what else you guys have, in the works. All the transitions you guys are doing, it's for a reason, and you feel the music coming out of you. So that's one thing that I really appreciate about the band.
Yeah, absolutely. No, we're really excited.